Hi everyone, this is Penny from Whack-A-Witch Astrology. Thank you so much for joining me here today as I am here to talk about the numerology of the alphabet. And today's letter is the letter N. Now, I typically do astrology videos and astrology readings, but this is an area where I haven't seen a lot of content being covered, and I felt like I really had a lot of information that I needed to be able to share on this. So, the letter N is the letter N. I felt like I said number, but I'm like, no, I said letter. Okay, the letter N is a letter that really facilitates change. It has the energy of change within it. But it's like not just constant, small, all over the place changes, kind of like the letter E would be. But what's different about the letter N and the way that it facilitates change is it tends to be usually one really big change. And I suppose if you guys will give me some feedback on this, maybe you have a name that starts with the letter N and you feel like you've had a series of really big changes, and maybe each big change happens like once every 10 years or once every 20 years or something like that. If you have some kind of just like time frame to give me, please go ahead and share that, because I would be really interested in hearing in the comments below. But from what I can tell, it seems like the letter N seems to facilitate one really big change, like one life-turning event. And from what I've seen, it tends to be a change for the better. So you might have a really rough start. You might just have a really rough, awful past where you felt alone and you felt like you couldn't get your stuff together, and maybe you were just an absolute mess for whatever reason. And then something comes into your life that gives you, first of all, there's probably a reason to build stability. So first this reason comes into your life, and once you see this reason come into your life, you're like, I gotta do it. I got to lay down the surface, lay down the foundation, and start building upon this, because I can't have this change. I mean, I can't have this obstacle, this nasty thing from my past that's following me, this obsession, this addiction. You know, it could be an addiction to toxic people, not just substances. You know, there's all kinds of negative addictions out there, like addictions to people who are bad for us. And you realize at some point in your life, you gotta let all that go. And then you have this like huge turning point where you start deciding to build a strong, stable foundation. And then your life turns around completely because of it. And then you have this huge turning point. So there's probably like these two like very clearly defined different parts of your life that you almost view as like light and dark. And I feel like most people don't really experience life this way. Most people, like whatever they kind of start with or whatever they find that becomes a habit for them, they just kind of like mostly stick with it. And then most of us, in the way we deal with problems, you know, they'll go away for a little bit and then they'll start to like resurface, and it's kind of like we're always dealing with the same thing and dealing with the same lessons over and over again. But one great thing about the letter N is when it has had enough of its hardship and it decides to really draw the line and be like, no, my life is not going to be like this, then usually they end up just completely making a breakthrough. And then the past is totally in the past, totally behind them. They don't have to worry about it anymore. It doesn't come back to haunt them. They manage to create something that will last, that will be sturdy enough, that will be stable enough, that will be unshakable, so that nothing in life can break them down and bring them back to the point that they were once at before. And it's all because they have this really strong reason, something that really inspires them and gives them this desire to change their life. You know, there's a lot of moms who have been single moms at some point who have names that start with the letter N. And your kid, definitely, that's a reason for a lot of women. But a lot of times, you know, it's like someone you fall in love with, or maybe something you fall in love with, or a community you meet, or go ahead and share whatever epiphany you've had, whatever inspiration, whatever reason has come into your life in the comments below, because I would be interested in hearing that. I feel like words that start with the letter N, they usually have this sort of like totality to them. Like it's kind of supposed to be like an end all be all, like the letter, like the word no. Like the word no is supposed to stop things. It's supposed to put an end to things. It's just like no. And then you move on. And the word no, I feel like, is a really good word to represent the energy of the letter N and people whose names start with the letter N. If you have the letter N maybe a little bit later in your name, like for example, my name's Penny, first N is the third letter, then learning the word no might be something like a little bit more necessary for you, because you don't prioritize it as much if it's coming later in your name. You're not prioritizing the energy of the letter N, you're prioritizing the energy of other letters in your name. But that's how that works, and that's why you should watch the videos for every letter that's in your name and not just the first letter. But we have words like no, we have words like nonsense, which is a double N, which is like a double negative, har har. So negative, no, nonsense. Nation. Nation is something that has been brought into formation, and it having that second letter be an A. A has that initiative, that ambition, that I'm going to turn this into something. What other words do we have? Gnats, nannies. Nannies is a good one. So the letter N on its own doesn't have the same amount of nurturing that the letter M does, and it's not in itself as maternal. So people whose names start with the letter N, they're not going to walk around mothering everyone like the way people whose name starts with the letter M oftentimes do. But they will be inspired by a community. They will be uplifted. You know, N has that like nice arch in it, and it's almost like everything you experience, everything that touches your heart, it just like inflates you, and it gives you this sense of well-being that'll help you rise and that'll help you come out of bad circumstances, and hopefully from that point be able to inspire other people to do the same. And I do think that's something that people whose names start with that letter N really seem to prioritize. Like, I want to inspire other people. Like, I might not be the most outgoing person. I have a lot of stuff I'm ashamed of and I'm like kind of embarrassed to talk about. But if I feel like it's going to help someone else and it's going to inspire them, then I will talk about it, because it's important and because it's something that they value. But yes, they have this really strong, powerful, forward-moving ability to create a change and move on from negative things in the past. And I am going to go ahead and bring this up. You can think whatever you want about it, but the N word is actually a really good example of the letter N and the changes that have happened in our culture, in our society, and a specific group of people, and how we have seen that word used, and how it's kind of, I feel it's been successfully taken back and reclaimed, because I do hear it used in positive ways a lot of times. You know, it used to just be used in a very derogatory way, like I'm just going to treat people like they're nothing. And now I see it used in a positive way, you know, to talk about your friends, and like a good loyal friend and someone who's like really there for you through thick and thin. I see it used in that way a lot of times now, and I feel like that really shows you how the letter N can really make this complete turnaround and facilitate this amazing change. And there's just this this dreary negative past that is there a lot of times for people and things that are associated with the letter N, and then this like whole new beginning that's just beautiful and amazing that's before them. So please, if you have a name that starts with the letter N and you're still going through the dark period, just like look at some other people with N names, whoever you can find, whether they're celebrities or they're people in your life, and see what they've done, see the breakthroughs that they have made, and know that I am 99.9% sure that is going to be you too. And you just have to find your inspiration and find your reason, and you can be that. You can lift yourself up and get through it. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. leave a comment below sharing words that start with the letter N, names that start with the letter N, anything you want to share. And please make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can watch the rest of my alphabet series, and hopefully check out my videos on astrology as well. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.